All right, everybody, welcome to David's Deep Dives. Today is actually going to be one of my favorite topics. This is something I'm very passionate about, something I'm going to be honest, very good at, something I've been very good at for many years and has really helped me to grow in a lot of ways. And I'm going to share that with you today. But I hope that you're ready to learn something. Please take some notes if you can. I absolutely believe if you pay attention today, I promise you're going to change something. It doesn't matter what you do, who you are, what you sell, service, product. Let me just tell you something. This is fundamental in anything you do in life. So I'm going to break that down in just a minute. So my name is David A. Perez. I have a book called Building Your Own Economy. I call myself the Chief Economy Builder. What I do is help people build their lives to be unshakable. That's what you call your own economy. And if you'd like a copy of my book, davidaperez.com, or you'd like to talk to me, david@davidaperez.com. All right. So today's topic, how to charge more and be worth it. The secrets to getting your customers to pay more for your products and services without price objections. So let me stop here. Okay. I want you to know this isn't just for people who sell products or services. Everything that you do in life is sales. You are selling someone something on a daily basis. And I would include this into your employment. If you work for somebody today, if you have a job, if you work in a company, if you own your own business, all of these are sales positions. They require you to continue to sell the person who's employed you, contracted you, purchased from you, that they are getting something in exchange for their money. Just think about this. If you work somewhere, somebody's paying you, and because they're paying you, you have to be valuable to them. Now, when I think about sales and I think about charging more and be worth it, what I mean by that is if you're talking about business and you want to be paid more per hour or paid more in salary or paid more in any general way, you have to do more. You have to provide more value. So how do you get more value? We're going to talk about today. So this is a key and fundamental thing in business. And when I learned this, it literally changed my whole life. It literally made me think about all the ways that I could add more value to people and then get paid more to do it. And those people would never complain. In fact, for many years, I've been in the tax industry. I've been in the insurance business or the insurance industry. I'm in the mortgage industry. I'm in the coaching and consulting business. I have several ways that I generate business. And each one of those has benefited from me learning this stuff, meaning I've been able to increase the fees that I charge to customers and not have them say, hey, David, why are you charging me more? Like that is so key and vital, because if you get this, what you have done now is you have created a business that now can grow and scale. You see, many people want to believe that there is a bottom and a floor, and you can only, or there's a ceiling to how much you can charge, rather, not bottom and floor. There's a ceiling to charging people. And by the way, I want you to know that this is ethical. This is not tricking or persuasion of any sort. This isn't some sort of life hack that's going to make people believe that that they're not getting something out of it. This is literally a very valid, very usable, scientific way of getting people to pay more. And more importantly, to pay often. And this is huge because many businesses will go through a lifespan of growth and they will eventually hit a ceiling and they'll say, well, this is all I can get. This is all I can get. This is all I can get. And that's not really true. In fact, there's more to get. Now, this weekend, I had the opportunity to go and coach some martial arts business owners. Now, this is something I don't usually do a group session in person like this, but I was asked from a good friend of mine who's, just said, hey, David, I need your help. And when I was talking to him, I said, tell me what you want me to come in and discuss. And he goes, well, a lot of what they're doing today is they're spinning a wheel. Maybe this is you. And the wheel is they charge, X amount of dollars, and then they have churn, which means people jump off the wheel. And so what happens is they're just replacing people with new people, and nobody sticks. He says there's a lot of what they call attrition, losing of customers. There's a lot of price negotiations when it comes to their service. And price negotiations, he says, people will come in and say, look, I can't afford it. And then the owner or the manager or the salesperson will say, well, what could you afford? And they are literally diminishing the value of their product because they're willing to take whatever they can get because they need the money to survive. And if you've ever been there, I've been there, where you just need to make money. That's what you do. You take whatever you can get. Now, I believe that that's probably the first way you need to go about business because you have to get money somehow. But eventually there becomes a point where you need to stop taking whatever you can get and actually be strategic about what you want to get. This is what I'm trying to get at. I want you to get what you want to get, not what you can get, what you want to get. There's a difference. I want to be a millionaire, but can I get it? It's different, right? So I want to try to get that. I'm going to shoot for it. So we're going to talk about this today. We're going to break it down. Very simple, by the way, very simple. But this is for anybody who's in sales and business, employed, pretty much anybody can value from this. So please take some notes. All right. If you stay to the end, I'm going to give you a free gift. Actually, I'm going to give you some really cool stuff that you can use in your business today without me that'll really benefit you and help you execute this at the highest levels. So we're going to talk about cost versus value. If you want to replace cost with something, you put dollars, dollars versus value. So what we perceive something to cost is really the value we give it. So let me say that again. What we perceive something to cost, or that's what value we give it. So typically we think about things as far as how much we will pay for them. Everybody's got a difference of opinion in every single thing that they purchase today. You can think about anything from what they buy clothes wise. Some people will not pay more than $20 for a shirt because that's just outrageous to them. Some people will pay $2,000 for a shirt because that's just their standard. That's what they like. That's what they believe it's worth. Some people will drive a nice sports car. Some people will say that's stupid, right? And what I'm getting at is it's all perceived value. Value is what you give or what you believe something is worth and how much you're willing to pay for it. So I think about things like purses. I think about jewelry, think about cars or real estate. Real estate's a very good example. You see, people would always say my house is worth, and they'll put a number to it. Let's say it's $400,000. And they say that like my house is worth 400, my house is worth 400, my house is worth 400. And I would ask how they got there. They would say, well, based on, what the market's paying, right? Like people are paying that much for houses like mine. And I'd say, okay, cool. The honest truth is the house is not worth 400. The house is only worth as much as somebody's willing to pay for it. Just because you believe it's worth 400 doesn't mean that it is. It's what somebody's willing to pay for it. Remember this. It's what somebody's willing to pay for it, right? You, for an example, have a value to you in dollars. What you produce, meaning your work, your energy that you deliver to the world is compensated in dollars, right? That's what we get paid to work. It doesn't matter. Like I own companies, but I get paid to own and run these companies. Okay. And whatever you get is in direct proportion to what somebody believes you're valued at. The lower you get, the less valuable you are, meaning I wouldn't pay somebody more than that to do this particular job. Right. And that is just the way the world works. And so it's always going to be in the eyes of the beholder that determines value. It's always going to be the eyes of the beholder. And the cost is typically in the eyes of the salesperson, the person giving, putting the market up, putting the dollar up. So let me talk to you about this real quick. So very simple value to understand this is when your value of something is greater than the cost, the dollars, what happens is that's a good transaction for somebody to purchase. Somebody buys. When the dollars are greater than the value, somebody doesn't buy. So let's use the t-shirt. Right? If somebody believes that the t-shirt should be less than $20, right? If they believe it should be less than $20 and they see a sale for $10 t-shirts, they will then purchase the t-shirt. Why? Because the value for them, right, is $20 for a t-shirt, but they're getting it for 10. So you will buy. This happens every day. When you go to a store and you see a sale, like, women love purses and jewelry and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you see a sale on a purse, the purse is regularly $500, but today it's only $300. If you believed it was worth $500, you will pay $300 every day. You would just buy it because it does make you feel good about buying it. You believe it's worth $500. You're only paying $300. What you call that? What? Anybody? When you pay less for something that you believe it's worth, what do you call that? Somebody comment here. You call that come on. I want to see this. You call that come on, some interaction. When you pay less for something that you believe, it's called come on. We all say it all the time. You got such a deal, steal, whatever you want to call it. There you go. You get a deal. Now, when you do something and you pay more than something's worth, now that's a bad thing. So for an example, if you go to a store today and you buy that purse that was for $300, but it said that it was worth $500. So you're like, yeah, I got a steal. And then you go to the next store and that same purse is $200. That same purse is $200 and you're like, oh my gosh, why is it $200? I paid $300. Oh man. Now that's not a deal anymore. You feel bad, right? See, when I think about buying something and you think about it, doesn't matter what we buy. We don't have to buy the same things, but when we buy something, we make a decision if something's worth it or not. Now, today, I'm not here to teach you this, just this. I need you to get in your mind first. This is easy to understand. You pay more. I mean, you always buy something that you believe you're paying less than it's worth. It's just what it is. If I believe that a car, a vehicle will give me status like a Lamborghini and it costs $150,000, you may think it's crazy, but I believe that I'm going to look awesome. I'm going to have a higher status. It's going to make me feel good. My confidence is going to be great. My emotions tell me buy that car. 150,000 may be stupid to somebody else, but the value that I'm going to get from owning that Lamborghini for 150,000 is going to make me feel so good that I don't care. 150,000, let's do it. You see? But some people would say, well, shit, you're stupid for buying a $150,000 car. That's the people on the bottom. 150,000, that thing's only worth 50. Right? I don't want to pay more than 50 for that thing. Well, you're never going to drive a Lamborghini for $50,000 for one, and you'll never buy. So if everybody gets this, now let's go on to the next part, which is really how we do this, right? At a high level. So I want you to now think about value. How do we create more value in what we do? Now, this is huge. Now, if you've heard something like this before, I promise it's a little different because this is going to share with you the secrets to helping people pay more, help your customers pay more for what you got. If you charge them $50 right now, I want you to charge them $70. I'm gonna show you how to do it, right? You can do this if you're a nail salon, if you're an insurance agent, if you're a nail lady, hairstylist, all of these do. So let's go ahead and let's do this. All right, here we go. Number one, to build more value, step one is list out the tangible things that you can do or you can or you do provide to your customers. This is important. Let me share something with you. Okay. I want you to take your service. For an example, I took the karate guys. I said, karate guys, tell me all the tangible things that you can do or provide to your customer. Now, tangible, just so everybody's on the same page, tangible means something physical. Like, I don't know if you can see this because I got a background, but I have a marker in my hand. This is tangible. So list out all the tangible things that your product provides, right? For them, they said, well, they're going to get equipment, the gear, the headgear, the gloves, the clothing, the belt, the nunchucks, the fake sword, the punching bag, the pads. Okay, these are tangibles. What else do they get? They're going to get an access card, a membership. Like these are things that they can touch and they can feel. A binder, a book. These are tangible things. Write them all out. I need you to list them. In the tax service, I'm like paperwork, documents, right? These are things that they're going to get. Now, if your product doesn't have a lot of tangible things, that's okay, but just know something. You can turn a intangible into a tangible, and you do that through the way you position it with words. But just know this, okay? I need you to list out all the tangible things. So, like for an example, I saw somebody on here who's in the accounting field, right? I would say they're going to get, for an example, QuickBooks access, right? They're going to get payroll access. They're going to get, these are tangibles, even though they may seem like a service, but they're actual tangible products. You can see them, you can do it. Intangible would be like a feeling. They get confidence, they get safety, they get security. These are intangibles. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but they're going to get QuickBooks, they're going to get payroll, they're going to get what? The reconciliation. These are tangible things that they can actually see, they can feel, right? Okay, once you list out tangible, now let's list out the intangible benefits. So an example, if they're in accounting, then I would say intangible would be, for an example, would be they have safety, they have security, they have confidence, they have peace of mind, they have conviction, they have happiness, they have freedom, they have, you see, these are things. And when I was talking to these guys in the karate field, for an example, I said, tell me some of the things. They get confidence, they get teamwork, they get there were some really good ones. It was confidence, teamwork. They get to build character, integrity, discipline. And I was like, man, these are all great intangible thoughts. So I write them all out, right? I'm writing out all my tangibles. These are the things they get. These are the intangible things they get. And I'm making lists. Now, why do you need this? This is where you start, guys. Pay attention. You're going to write them all out. What are they going to get? They're going to get this. This is what they get. The feelings that they get right now from purchasing from you is what they get. They get things, right? And so for an example, let me go back to one because this will help. So let's say you're in insurance, for an example, because I have some insurance agents on here. Tangible things could be they get a phone call, they get an enrollment call, they get a quarterly call, they get emails, they get annual reviews, they get what else could we put in there? Like even if you don't do them, think about what you could do and you should be doing. Think about that, right? Like, what should you be doing for them? I should call my clients every month. I should call them every quarter. I should annually review them. I should send them a welcome kit. I should send them a thank you card. I should be on top of things. I should review their plans. I should call their doctors. I should enroll them in this. I should reassess this. I should quote this. You see, all of these things are tangibles, okay? Intangible is because I do those things, you're going to feel safe. You're going to feel secure. You're going to feel confident. You're going to feel like you save money. You're going to feel great about your life. You're going to feel healthy. You're going to feel, you see, these are intangibles. And if I list them all out, what it does is it helps me to understand the next step, which is number 3, which is determine the value of each of these items. And I put tangible because intangible, you can't put a value on just yet, but you can definitely put a value on tangible items. And so what I mean by that, like for an example, if I were going to use insurance for an example, and I said, okay, insurance agents, you're going to call your customers once a month, right? For 12 months, because most plans are reviewed annually. So for an example, I would say, okay, what is that worth? Me calling them once a month. Determine the value of each thing. What is it worth? And the way I tell you to do it, if you're having difficulty understanding this, here's how you do it. How much is your time worth? You see, most professionals bill by an hour. They don't bill by 10 minutes. They don't bill by 20 minutes. They bill by hours. So you call a doctor. If you see him for 7 minutes, which is the average time you see a doctor anyways, they bill you for an hour. If you see a lawyer, you call them on a phone call, you get them on there for 10 minutes, they bill you for the hour. You talk to an engineer, they bill you for the hour. Okay. So you're a professional. How much is your hour worth? If I were you, I'd probably put it at $20, $30, $50, $100 an hour. Say that for, let's say $50 an hour, okay? If you're going to call your clients once a month, then you have billed them 1 hour a month. So $50, right? You got 12 months, 5 times 12, that's $600. So if I call my clients once a month, I'm giving them $600 in value. You get that? Now they're not paying for this. I'm just telling you what I give them in value. You guys get that? What if I'm in the tax business and I say, well, every quarter I'm going to call you and I'm going to review your federal withholdings on your paychecks to make sure that it's in line with your tax liability for 2022 or 2021 rather. And I want to make sure you're good, because if I do this, what's going to happen is you're not going to pay any taxes. You're going to feel great about your life. You're going to have security and safety. Cool. I'm going to call you every quarter. Is that cool? All right. How much is your time worth? Same concept. I'm going to call them 4 times a year, which is 4 quarters. I'm going to charge them, I'm not going to charge. I'm going to value it as $50 per call. So 50 times 4, that's a $200 value. Do you see how I'm adding the value? I'm adding it up. Now, I want you to add values for everything you do. Everything. If you send email, if you send text messages, if you show up, if you go to their house, if you make the phone calls, if you do anything, right? If you give them anything, I give you a binder, I gave you a package, I deliver your documents, I printed out your policy, I created, in this case, I gave you your gear for your stuff. I prepared, if you're a real estate agent, I would say I prepared a market analysis for you. I have done my professional broker's opinion of your property. That's tangible. I print it out. I give it to you, right? I'm going to take photos and hand those photos over to you. You see, these are values. So values of photos, $1,000. Market analysis, $2,500. And you get what I'm doing, right? Professional photos. I'm giving you the value. I'm giving you what I'm doing for you, because many people, what I've learned, just to be clear, if you're in business today, devalue or undervalue what they really do. They typically believe that whatever they're doing is just normal. Like, well, everybody does it. Well, yeah, maybe they do, but they don't talk about it. Your customer does not know what you do unless you tell them what you do. You see that? Like, the customer has no idea. For an example, me telling the customer, if I'm in the tax business, that I safeguard their information by encrypting each one of my computers and ensuring on an annual basis that I review those encryptions to make sure that nothing gets released to the public out in the open to protect their identity, but more importantly, to protect their credit and to protect their security of information. What's that valued at? I'd say that's valued at $5,000. I do that every year. Damn, like I got a $5,000 value. See that? See, I'm creating value right now in front of you. I'm creating value. You're thinking, well, David, all of this stuff sounds like it's just made up. It's not made up. It's really what it is. I can tell you what I believe my products are worth. Can't you? I see some of you in the accounting field, real estate field. If you want me to try, put it in the chat, put something in there, put something in the chat, what field you're in. Maybe I can try to build one for you. Put it in here. I'll try one for you. I got one. I'm going to pick one of the group. If you want to put one in there, I'll do it. So I got a barber. That's a good one. Okay. So barber, that's going to be a little hard for me, but I'm going to work it. Let's try it, right? So somebody says, uh-oh, let me go back. Somebody says barber, right? Okay, what does a barber have to do, right? I use the best materials, right? I use the best shaving cream, the best gels, the best combs, the best cutters, trimmers, scissors, right? I use the best and highest quality tools for you. What are those valued at? Right? I use the best products on your hair. What's that value to the customer? Right? Not by, oh, it cost me $3 to buy this tube. No. It's going to cost you $30 to make sure that happens. And you're probably thinking about this, guys, right? Like for an example, most people think about, and because I have a background, but I got a cup right here, right? This cup, right, costs $30 and it's got my own logo on it and everything, right? But it didn't cost $30. It cost me more. I had to design the cup. I had to find a vendor to order the cup. I had to order the cup. I had to pay for shipping. I had to pick out the shipping. I had to get the cup. I had to open the cup. I had to deliver the cup. Just because it didn't cost me $30. That thing cost me $100 of my time plus the cup. You guys get that? Right? I only source the highest quality things. I only work with only high quality people. You see, when you deliver value at a high level and you actually share that value, it becomes second to none, right? Oh, barber, I went to the best schools. I have the best training. I have the best X. I do the best everything. That's valuable, right? It cost me $10,000 to get the education that I have to cut your hair. It took me 10 years to get to this point where I can cut your hair. That's why I can charge $100 to cut your hair. You see, people will pay more if they believe what you do. But let me halt here. And I got to tell this to everybody. Just because I'm telling you all the values, you got to be worth it. Charge more and be worth it. You can't just say, I'm just going to charge more for the sake of charging more. You actually have to show them what you do and you actually have to deliver. What you'll learn about this, though, is when you start letting people know the value behind what you do, people will actually hold you accountable and it becomes more accountable to you to deliver. Like you won't use cheap products. You'll do the encryption. You'll make sure that you get the calls made. You'll send the text. You'll get the emails done. You'll be on top of things, right? I'll pre-schedule your appointments as a barber. That's valuable, right? Like you'll actually have your spot. I'll reserve your spot every Thursday, 3 p.m. You're always here. I'll always here. See, that is value to you. I'll pre-book you, right? I'll get you in line. You skip the line. If you're a customer of mine, you skip the line. You know, you only get a private booking link with me. See, these are valuable things. People pay more when they feel valued. So put a value to tangible things, you know, what you're giving. And if you want, you should be using the intangibles to back up each one, right? I use the best products to make you feel like $1 million. That's intangible mixed with tangible, right? I call you annually to review your policy to give you the peace of mind to knowing that you have the best possible coverage. See how I'm doing that? I'm giving you a tangible, the call. I'm with an intangible feeling. And when I combine those two, I can put a value to that. My call, $100 annually. That doesn't necessarily mean, just to be clear, that doesn't mean that I'm charging people $100. All it means is that I am adding value. I'm adding value to what I'm doing. Okay, let's go. Step 4. Add up the totals. Add up your totals. Now, I have some examples that I'm not going to go because I would be here all day. I have examples. We'll talk about that at the end, but you would add it up. If I were a barber, because the barber came up, that was good, right? Best products, what's that worth? Best haircut, what's that worth? Booking, what's that worth? Time, what's that worth? Add them all up and be very fruitful with your adding. Should be worth, in my opinion, a barber, a haircut should be worth $250. But today you get it for the low, low price. You like that. So you add up your values and then you create a value stack. Let me show you this, okay? So a value stack is simply adding up the value of all the things that are tangible, that are backed up with intangible feelings, and then using that to present to a customer. So if I were to tell you the karate guys, most of them charge less than $100. Most charge $75 a month for a child to participate in their programs. So let me add some value here. And you guys tell me, parents, if you're a parent here, comment if you're a parent. I'm gonna ask you a few questions here, and you tell me if $75 is too little after you tell me this. If you're a parent, comment in the chat. So come on, parents. If you're a parent, comment in the chat. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to ask you a question. You guys got to be real with me. Okay. If you're a parent here, please comment, but you guys got to be real with me. After I say this, you have to tell me if $75 is not enough. Okay. So I said, why does somebody pay to go to your school? Why does a kid need to go to your karate school? And they said, well, number one, it's a tough world out there and you never know what could go wrong. Don't you want your child to have the confidence to stand up for themselves? I said, wow, that's a pretty good statement. Okay, what else? Well, coming here, they build character in themselves because they become more confident in their ability to perform, to show up, but more importantly, they get discipline, a time slot, commands, instruction. I said, well, my kid would probably need that. And then I said, what else? Well, they're going to get teamwork because we put them in small groups. We have them work together to solve complex problems. How do they tackle? How do they attack? How do they develop? I thought, I would need that. And I said, well, what else? Well, we give them weapons training because, you know, the world is crazy. Would you want your kid to know what to do if somebody came at him with a knife? I said, well, yeah, I think I would want my kid to know that. Huh. Okay, what else? Well, they said, look, do you think they feel cool when they got the karate suit on? I said, yeah, they probably do. He goes, well, imagine showing up 3 times a week looking cool as hell. Do you think that would make your kids feel good? I said, well, yeah. I don't have kids, but I'm thinking, right? I'm like, nah, I would love my kids to do this, right? They said, what about leadership? Do you think your kids need leadership? I said, yeah. He goes, did you know that once a month we have a leadership training on Saturdays? And that leadership is with a leader in the community. And that community leader comes in and speaks to them and teaches them things that maybe have things to do with civic engagement, volunteering, or maybe how to present publicly or how to create a business. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, how much would you pay for that? I'm in my mind. I'm like, $200 a month, $300 a month. What is it going to cost me? I said, $75. Damn, that is cheap. I would pay $75. How many of you guys would pay $75 for what I just said? Would you pay? Why is nobody chatting with me today? Come on, man. You'd pay all day, right? The leadership sold me, you see? Okay. So if you guys are hearing this, right? These guys are charging $75. How would you pay? Would you pay 150? Guys, would y'all pay double that? Just curious. Would you pay double? Would you pay 150? Don't think about the money like, well, I don't know if I have it. No. Would you pay 150 for all the things that I just said? Would you pay 200? You know, would you pay 300? Now, don't worry about money because here's the deal. I've learned something, especially about kids. If the kids want it, parents will pay. They'll find the money. So they were selling something for $75 that is literally, in my opinion, worth $200+. But see, they never listed all that. They don't tell people that. They're not giving value to the things that they're producing. And I'm like, guys, this is how you build a business. This is how you get more money. This is how you, and literally you got to have that on a piece of paper, sharing them with every day. this is what you get, this is what you get, this is what you get, and put a value next to it. You're going to get everything I just said here for blank, blank, blank. I have 2 kids. I want to put them in that kind of learning environment. That's right. By the way, I mean, just think about this, guys. There's private and public schools, right? Private, you pay, public, you don't, right? Why do people send their kids to private school? Because when they go to the private school orientation, this is what they tell them. Public school is not the environment you want your kids to learn in. They only teach to pass a test. We teach life skills. These kids lead with leadership. They lead with coaching. They lead with finance. They lead with parenting skills. They lead, all of the things that you want your kids to have. But think about your business, any business. We can talk about the tax business, right? Because I'm in that business. I understand it very well. If you think about value in taxes, right? People just say, well, I prepare taxes, so pay me, right? You don't just prepare taxes. You solve the most complex problem that happens to people on an annual basis, right? You learn all year long. You update, you learn, and you train on an annual basis to be prepared for that one occurrence when you meet with that customer. You work for a whole year to meet for the 2 hours, 1 hour to meet with that customer. Is your time valuable? Do you think you spent at least 100, 200 hours during a year to prepare for that one time? Then your time is very, very valuable at that time. Sitting down with me and discussing taxes should be no less than $300. No less. Then I got to print paperwork. That's valuable. I got to use software, the best software. That's valuable. I e-file. That's valuable. I use partnering banks, so you don't actually have to pay me today. I can actually withhold it from your refund. That's valuable. I'll be here all year round. Unlike the other people, I actually service you. That's got a value, right? I know more than just taxes. We actually offer insurance. So what that means is for your federally backed insurance, if you ever run out of insurance from your employer or you need insurance, I'm here to answer those type of questions. I see you have retirement plans. I'm a retirement expert. That's valuable. You see, I can put $100, $500, $300, $200, $100. I can make a tax return be worth $1,500 to $2,000 in value. And then what do? All I do is I divide it in half. If I told you that something was worth $2,000, but I can do it today for $1,000, this is where you begin my pricing. And this is how I get people to pay more. Because people will pay more when they value something more. And if I build the value so high that they just can't say no. This is the secret to getting more from your customer. Simple secrets, easy to implement, things you can do. If you're selling anything, you could do this. You just have to think. You just have to think. We have a technology company that I work with. They got to be thinking this, right? What do you get? Well, you get access to a CRM. What? Like, what's that? I don't need to call it a CRM. I have access to giving you a platform to communicate with your customers on a daily basis at a high level. You can text them, you can email them, you can call them. And did I mention that all of these things are trackable? You can monitor their progress. You can automate the transactions, the communications. There's so much more value to it than just this is technology. Everything has significantly much more value than you believe it to be. It's very hard, by the way, just to sell one product. To sell markers, like this is a marker. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. It's very hard to sell a marker, but you sell what it does. This marker does what for people? It writes on the board. That this marker could literally write down my future. Now it's worth more value, right? I'll give you an example. So if I wanted to sell you something and it only had a value to you of $100, all I had to do, like for an example, I just did it with the martial arts. If I wanted to sell you something, anything, all I would have to do is just tell you what you get because you have it. See, that's exactly what you're paying for when you buy something brand name, when you buy something that's expensive, when you buy a luxury item. You're buying status that you have perceived value in. You're not buying the product. You're buying the value to you. You feel good about it. You look good. It stands out. You know, I own a lot of luxury things. I buy a lot of things. I'm a consumer of most things. And I do a lot of things because I really like nice things, but I also do it for status, right? That's a status. I do it all the time. We all do it. So think about the value you bring every time you present your pricing to a customer. I would test your value stack once you're done, meaning put a value next to everything, 100, 500, 300, 200, whatever the values are, add them up, but say it out loud. Okay, sir. I'd look in the mirror and say, all right, David, let me tell you what you're going to get if you buy from me today. You're going to get the best of this, the best of that, this and that, this, and I would say, you're going to get this for $300, this for $200, this for blah, 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 and then boom, valued at $2,327. And then I would say, but today you're only going to get it for $197. You ready to make a deal? Let's go. All right. Start preparing to share your stack with your current and new customers. Some things I thought about. This is something that came up with them, the group this weekend, which was, David, how do I overcome the pricing objection that I'm going to experience from the people that are already paying a low amount and I want to increase the pricing on them? That's a very difficult conversation to have, but it's also something that you can't have unless you're willing to make improvements in your current business. So the first thing I said is I was in a facility that I was actually at a martial arts facility doing this training. And as I looked around, I looked at the walls and I looked at the floors and I looked at the setup, I looked at the layout, and I said, look, the only way you're going to charge more is to look like you're worth more. So if you have people who are paying less, make the building look good, make the site look good, upgrade the equipment, make the packages more appealing and sexy. You have to show that there's an improvement before you can charge more. That's a hard deal. Just know that, okay? That's a hard deal. So I'd encourage you right now to start thinking about how you can improve the quality of the current situation for the current customers. All right, I told you I was going to give you something. I'm going to give you something. If you want a worksheet and a breakdown of actually how to create a value stack, and this is an example, the right-hand side is actually where you'll fill in the blank, give a value, give a total on the bottom. The left at the bottom corner, that's actually a detailed worksheet it's about 2 or 3 pages, and it tells you exactly what a value stack is and how you actually create one. If you want it, text the word stack. Text the word stack to 956-382-7020. You will get a link. Click on the link, put your email, and boom, you will have these PDFs in your inbox right now, today. I promise you, no sales gimmicks or tricks. All you do is just text that number, get the stack. I didn't want to send it to the whole group here. You know why? Because some will, some won't. I don't care. You guys make a decision to get this. And I promise you, if you make the decision, you're going to use it. If I send it to you, you'll never use it. So I already see some of you texting it in because I get notifications. Text the word stack to 956-382-7020, 956-382-7020. All right. Questions on anything, guys? If you have questions, let me go. If you're watching this and you got something good out of this, please tell me. Let me see here, chats. Come on. Any questions before I end with the last thing for today? Oh, a lot of you are texting in. That's why you're not you guys are watching. Stack, 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 stack. Stack. I love it, guys. Thank you so much. Awesome. All right. So thank you for the info. All right, cool, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. All right. So here's some things. Okay. First off, if you like this and you really want to give back to me, do me a favor. We have an event coming up at the beginning of November called Feeding 5,000. This is an event where we feed families all year, or during the Thanksgiving holiday. We work all year long to get to this event. $25 feeds a family. If you feel value in this and you want to give back, you don't have to pay me. You don't have to do anything. You get the sheet for free, you get everything for free. I'm not trying to take your money. Do me a favor. Contribute to a great cause, Free Hunger Nation. You can visit our website at freehungernation.com/donate or just freehungernation.com. You'll see what we do. It's legit. No money goes to me. No money goes to anybody that participates in this thing, except for the families that are in need of a meal during the Thanksgiving holiday. We try our best to feed 5,000 families every year, and we've been blessed to be able to do it. I get excited. I am honored and humbled by the opportunity to continue to do this. And I'd love for you to participate. If you're watching this thing, please, if you felt value in today, do me a favor and contribute $25 or more, whatever your heart desires, right? This is an opportunity for you to give back to the communities that obviously have supported you and me over the course of many years. And if you're not from here, still do it because it would be great. Connect with me. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you can get me, and get a copy of my book if you need me. I'm going to go back over here. So in case anybody missed this, any questions before I end today? And I'm going to end with a story, actually. I'm going to end with a story. All right, here's my story, okay? And I'm going to stick to it. When I learned how to do this, this was about 4 years ago. And I added a one worksheet to my business to help our tax business prepare returns, but also add so much significantly more value into the process of preparing a return that the customers would literally just pay more. In fact, I was getting on average about $70 more per tax return. Now, this isn't to tell you guys I'm trying to charge a lot for taxes. This is me telling you, I realized that I was undervaluing my service. I was not charging enough. I was giving the world to the customer, and the customer was not appreciating it. You see, that happens all the time. Even though they may think I charge too much, I'm telling you, I don't charge enough. We train year round. We're open year round. I have overhead year round. I continue to service them year round. We answer the phones. We're there and we're available. We have the best product. We use the best software. We use banks to support them. We deliver at a high level. You can always find us. We have our communications. We have live events that do this. We give customer appreciation. We give cash at the time of preparation. We have the cleanest offices, very conveniently located near their homes, open and ready to serve the communities that we're in. And if they don't want to come in the office, we can do it remotely with remote technology, Zoom, webinars, any way we can get a hold of you, work with you, we are going to do it. I'm worth more than just $300, guys. But when I learned how to add more value to my business, what I did is we changed our numbers, improved. And in that first year, I made over $100,000 more in gross top line revenue just from doing some value stacks. 100,000. That's just in a matter of like 3 weeks. And over the course of the years, it's gone up. So just so you know, it's a few 100,000 today. And I've done that just from building so much value that the customer is willing to pay for it because they believe in me, because they understand what I'm trying to accomplish, because they know that the value that I drive to them is worth way, 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 way more than what they're paying. And if you get this, what you do is you actually put yourself in a position to outsurpass everybody. And let me add this last thing to this, because this is important. When you get into business, you have a choice to make. And by the way, this is also if you're an employee, if you work for a manager. And the reason I say that is because when you get employed, you have a choice to make. When you get employed, when you start a business, when you enter into an agreement, you have a choice to make. And the choice is to be at the top or the bottom. And I say top or bottom because you're going to say, well, what if I want to be in the middle? Nobody will ever know you. Nobody will ever promote you. No one will ever give you anything because you're in the middle. You get lost. The difference between top and bottom is minutia. It's chaos. It's not known. And so many people today say, well, I just want to be hidden in the middle. Well, you're never going to make money. You're never going to get the raise. Nobody's ever going to call on you to be somebody in the world, because they're all going to there's only somebody at the top and there's somebody at the bottom. That means there's somebody who sucks and there's somebody who's great. There's somebody who's cheap and there's somebody who's expensive, period. And every time you go into a business transaction, arrangement, whatever you're doing in the world, every time you do this, you must pick top or bottom. So you're either going to be the most expensive if you're in business, or the cheapest, because those are the only two that are known. You're either Little Caesars or Pizza Hut. Is that a better scenario? You're either Little Caesars, $5 pizzas, or $20 Pizza Hut. Neither are going out of business. You can argue with me and tell me which one's been in financial struggles. I get it, but it didn't go out of business, and things are still going good for most companies at the top and at the bottom. You don't see anyone in the middle. In the middle is not where you want to be. So either you're going to say, I want to be the cheapest person in town, $5 haircuts, if we're talking about barbers, or $50 haircuts. In the middle, you get lost. Nobody cares about you. Nobody wants to know you because you're nobody in the world. If you're an employee and you're making an effort to get a promotion, you better be given the value. I show up early. I stay late. I am committed. I am continuously learning. I'm adding more skills. I develop outside of work. I create. I contribute. I'm a team player. I step up. I am always in for whatever is needed of me. And then there's the people that are in the middle that say, well, I show up for work on time and I leave it on time. I kind of do the work. I sometimes learn. I learn when they give me stuff, but if I'm not asked to learn, then I don't want to learn anymore. Like, I just want to get my job done and go home and eat cookies and watch Netflix. Well, shit, you're never going to get a raise. You see, you're in the middle. And at the bottom, what happens to the bottom employee? They just get terminated eventually. See? So pick your path. Guys, I really appreciate your time. I know I went a little long today, but I appreciate your time. Stack at, let's go back real quick so y'all don't forget me. Stack at 956-382-7020. And I promise you'll get your link and fill it out and you'll get the stack. If you need anything from me, if I could help you or add value in any way, please let me know. I think I see a chat here. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you guys. I appreciate you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.